two options here. Think of that 3 as over 1, which is not going to change to the least common multiple. I could clear fractions first by multiplying both sides by 8. On the left side, I need to distribute before I can reduce. On the right side, that 8 is times its reciprocal, so we just have 1. Bringing it over here. 4 will go into 8 twice. See, that's an 8 over 1, so I'm only multiplying 1 times 4. 4 will go into 8 twice. 8 times 3 is 24. Subtract the 24. (2x equals negative 23). And I'll divide both sides by 2 to get x alone. And I'm not going to be able to reduce this, so I will leave this as negative 23 halves. As a check. And then I'll show you a second option. Let's get a little room up here to show a check. All right, so first we're going to have to multiply before we can add that 3. So there's no reducing that we can do. It's going to be negative 23 over 8. I'll think of that 3 as 3 over 1, and then multiply top and bottom by 8 to get the same denominator. And when we add, we'll add the numerators. Negative 23 plus positive 24 is positive 1, still over 8, and that's what we wanted. So now let's see option 2, and that's going to give us the same result of negative 23 half. Well, that was fun. I went and wrote out option 2, as well as 2 options for the last example coming next, and things were paused, so it didn't get recorded. So it's already written here. Option 2, instead of getting rid of fractions first, is to deal with the fractions by, since we have 1/4 x plus 3, if I want to subtract 3 from both sides, I'm going to need to see that 3, think of that as 3 over 1, with the same denominator, 8. So earlier on, we saw when checking that if we multiply top and bottom of 3 over 1 by 8, 8 to the top, 8 to the bottom, then we get 24/8. Now the two like terms have a common denominator. I can subtract 24/8 from both sides, canceling it on the left, and then 1/8 minus 24/8. Since we've got the same denominator, 1 minus 24 is going to be negative 23. It's still over 8. And then, since 1/4 x is alone, instead of dividing both sides by 1/4, that's the same as multiplying by the reciprocal 4 over 1, or just 4. It's going to cancel the 4 on the left, leaving us a 1x. We just write x instead of 1x. And on the right-hand side, when you multiply that by 4, or if you need to write it 4 over 1, 4 goes into itself once and into 8 twice. So that reduces to 23 halves. That's the answer we found in the previous approach.